Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, chat. Welcome, everyone. Today we have got something a bit more interesting. So, essentially, I had this idea. It's an amazing idea yesterday because I was, because, or Tuesday or whenever, I had this amazing idea at some point to create a game, to create a video game, because that won't take forever, will it? But we're going to stream as much of the process as I can. I'm going to stream as much of it as I can. So today is the first part of creating the game, which is brainstorming some ideas. Now, I'm not alone in this endeavor. I've got Josh to help me. Um, and then I've partly convinced John. But yeah, I'll join VC now. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Let me just check something. Let's see if it picks up Chrome. Shit. No, of course it doesn't. Yeah, let's go. Let's have a picture
Are
of
you
him.
tapped in?
Hmm.
You tapped in?
Yeah, I'm tabbed into Chrome. I'm just gonna
Have you ever
create.
set as a window capture?
I'm just gonna make another window capture. I had one called
That's a good idea.
Crunk. I had one called Crunk, but it doesn't like me today.
Of
Um,
course.
I'll call it gaming, all caps.
Gaming.
Gaming. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
go. No, not that. Um, Not that one. No, that's showing Chatterino. I don't want it to be that one. There we go. There we go. There's no personal information there. All right, let's put that to the back. No, no. Okay, not behind. There. Professional. Great. You can barely read the follower goal. You can barely read the follower.
Nice.
Let's go. Let's go. That I am. I am
Professionalism.
so professional. Yeah. Let's go. Oh dear. So yeah, as I said, I had the amazing idea of just thinking, let's make a game and stream the process.
Ooh.
So,
Hog.
ooh, ooh,
Ooh.
ooh. So the only time the only stream I'm ever gonna have, which is just chatting. Let's go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
A variety streamer.
Variety. Look at me. Look at being variety. Yes, this is the one I DM'd you on Wednesday, which just so happened to be yesterday, John. If I go to my Trello page, look, we've got to do convince Josh, we've got convince John.
Oh,
So
you've already set up a Trello.
yeah, I've already done it, and I've got two. I've got one thing completed, one thing almost completed. Look at me go! Yeah, you
Nice.
can barely see chat on screen because white text on white background. Oh dear. Very professional, as you can see. But yeah, if we just leave
Add
on.
another window capture for Chatterino.
You want me to add
I'll just
another?
put it
Yeah,
over
I'll
the.
just add another
I'll
window
just put it.
capture
I'll
for
just put it where
Chatterino.
chat would be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll just say. I'll just make one and call it chat but not chat.
Chat but not chat.
There we go. Chat but not chat. Um, okay, let's decrease its size. But see, it's it's, it's as if nothing happens. It's
Wow.
perfect.
Oh god.
Oh, oh, I am.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay, so it does need to be a button.
Ben, you're on Chrome. Add nodders right now.
You want me to add nodders?
Yeah.
You want me to add nodders? So, okay. Let's get up. Let's get up BTTV, shall we? Uh,
Yeah.
hey, look at my amazing Google background. Better TTV. You want me to add nodders? Alright,
That
let's.
is betterttv.com.
Better TTV. Yeah, I've got it. Download. I've already got it.
You should be able to just log
Emotes.
in.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Alright, so.
So go emotes,
Yeah, I'm on emotes.
then shared emotes,
Shared emotes.
There's a delay for me. Hang on.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
just search Nodders, all caps.
So it's Nodders.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we found it. Now, which one do I pick? That's the question.
Top right,
Top right.
I think.
Add channel. It's on there.
And then also do the same for Nopers.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say also do it for Nopers. Fixing things on stream.
There's 1p in Nopers, Ben.
Shut up. Not.
Yep, Noppers.
No, Noppers. That's what you think, Josh. You think there's 1p. But.
Oh, you don't even have yep. Second one, yeah.
That one, yeah. Add channel. There we go. And then if I just.
And if I press F5 on Chatterino, it should.
Okay.
Hey!
Hey! Hey, we've got chat on screen as well. Hey! Through the wonders of Chatterino.
Invite me to that Trello.
You want me to? Okay, yeah. I need to remember how to do that shit. I need your username for Trello.
Yes, so hide your screen and I'll tell you my username.
Yes.
Hopefully it's logged on, otherwise I'll have to create another one, because I actually have no idea. I'm not looking at
we're going to be using C#, John. It gives you an excuse to learn C#. It's not that.
Yeah.
See?
I use my Google account.
We're not going to be using Godot. Yeah, exactly. You need to learn that anyways. Well, let's be honest, it's probably going to take you a while to download Unity because you got to read all the terms and conditions.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I installed Unity the other day.
Yeah.
Professional edition. Hey, it was the correct. Okay.
Hey! Hey!
Oh. Actually, no, it's not. No, it's definitely. Oh, no, it is. Hang on, what?
Make up your mind!
No, I'm just confused because it has the name Nice Guy Josh, and I'm sure when I created this account, I hadn't rebranded myself.
No, I'm pretty sure you didn't rebrand to Nice Guy Josh.
But it says, because it's my Google account, it's just whatever my Google account name is.
Yeah, I should probably invite you to the team as well.
Do you need my email?
Yes.
I will send you that.
Cool. I'll invite you to the team and then to the board. The team is just called Gaming. Let me just change it to Nice Guy Inc.
No.
So, I just realised it wasn't gaming all caps, so I just need to change that. There we go. Let's see. It's a very, very epic Gmail. You got that?
Am I going to get an email for this?
Invite team. There you go. We're giving out our last names. Let's go. Boards.
Have you invited me?
I've invited you to the team. Let's see if I invite.
Oh, yes.
And then there's
You haven't invited me. You've just added me.
There's your invite to the board.
Yep, I'm in it.
Epic. All right. Jumping back over to the Trello page, so you guys have something to see.
Make me admin.
No, fuck you. Okay. How do I do that?
You click on my face.
Change permissions, admin. There you go. Happy now?
Yes, very happy.
Good. Okay. So, we need to figure out what game we're gonna make for this whole series. It's gonna go on. And of course, going to make a very professional game that wins loads of awards. Oh, it's fine. They saw his email. What are they going to do? Dox him? No. Oh, dear. Yeah, very professional. See, smooth chat. You can see the message twice.
Did you leak my email?
I don't know how. I think it's because I clicked on you and made you admin. It's fine. He says, "Do gritted teeth." Oh. All right. You should probably put your stream playlist on Groovy.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah, to do it, because otherwise we're just gonna be sitting here talking in silence. It's just
Adding now.
As you can see, we've got the this picture definitely represents me as a person. This is definitely me. Yes. So, as you can see, we've all... John, have I convinced you yet? Because if so, that means I can make game. Yeah, that's very true. John, have I convinced you yet? Because if so, I'm going to add that to the completed. So then we have 2 out of the 3 things that we have on our Trello completed. Because that's a good... That means we're 2/3 of the way to making a game. We're 2/3 of the way to finishing. Yes! 2/3 of the way! So now we just wait to see if... Let me check they don't have Groovy muted. I do have Groovy muted.
Nice one.
It's no longer muted. You're welcome. You're welcome, chat. And John's just not replying. That's very mean of him.
Do you see me updating boards?
Yeah.
In real time, or do you have to refresh?
I see it in real time.
Oh, okay.
I'll be happy to help, but I do want to give myself a bit of time to at least end off what I'm currently working. Oh yeah, no. Okay, so I haven't convinced, guys. I haven't convinced. My bitrate is dying. apparently I've dropped 5.3% of frames, but it's fine because it's a still image.
It's a still image. No one can tell.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got to convince John. We're halfway there, guys. Oh yeah, it's fine, John. I won't leak your email last name.
You probably will, though. That's the thing. If you click on anyone's name, it shows.
Yeah, I realise that now.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't care.
Yeah. Luckily, you don't care. So.
Yeah.
Whoa, PS5 component shortage investigation. I just got that on my computer. Let's go.
Whoa, let's go.
Let's go. Oh, look at this amazing chat setup. This amazing chat setup. It's just...
It's very impressive.
It's just so good.
I had to install a Chatterino beta early today because it crashed every time I tried to change the colour of a highlight.
Bruh.
So now I'm on 2.2.3 beta 2.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, I know, it lets me see the viewer list.
Also, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna move make a game to almost there because we're almost there. Let's be honest.
Almost there.
Almost there.
We've pretty much done it.
Thanks for watching the stream, guys.
I had an important thing.
This important thing is it gonna be win game of the year? Describe what the game actually is. Yeah, and then win game of the year because we're gonna do that. Yeah.
Obviously.
It's the plan.
And that's a given.
That's the plan, yeah. It's obvious. It's obvious that that's going to happen. Yeah. So. On to the actual topic at hand, which is, what the fuck are we going to make? So.
I'm going to be honest, Ben, you kind of did DM me, so in fact I'll go back.
Yeah, I have a couple of ideas. I also did DM you yesterday and didn't really give you much time to think about it. So I'm very helpful like that.
Yeah, no, you said I had an idea of something I wanted to stream. Essentially, I wanted to do Auroras.
Yeah. You did.
I was wondering if you wanted to help me with it. And I said, okay. And that was pretty much it. I said, got any ideas for the game yet? And you said, not entirely sure. I have a couple of ideas.
Oh yeah, that was it.
That is all I have had.
Yeah. So now we're here. Now we're in this situation. So. I mean, first thing I kind of need to decide on is genre. Now, of course, there are the obvious genres, like we've got RPG, which of course will take us forever if we wanted to do that.
No, we should though.
Yeah, we should though. We really should. Or roguelike, right? Because you've also got that. Because, but then again, do you really want to make random generation?
Random generation could be quite annoying.
Exactly. So,
least effort.
Let's go.
Yes.
We'll make a basic Snake game and publish it on Steam as Snake but Cool. By
By the way, it does cost $100 to release a game on Steam.
I know. Yeah, so we released a free game called Snake.exe. And
no, it can't be a free game. We need to profit from it.
Okay, $49.99 Snake.exe.
Bloody hell. Like AAA price.
Yeah, AAA price. Snake.exe.
Jesus.
because look, I'll just put that as an idea, right? Snake.exe.
No.
49.99. There we go. Okay, we got our first idea.
Random generation means you have to put less effort into proper level design, only on individual rooms.
Yeah, but we have to design all the individual rooms. And even then, not all of them
Yeah.
will come up. Where if we know what exactly is going to happen, we can be like, we need it like this,
I think there
and
should
then
be
just
some
put
sort
it
of
in.
stories to it. I like writing stories for games.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
I can do that.
it should be some sort of story. Because if it's not story based, it's just kind of there, isn't it? There's nothing to get someone to play it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, and there's nothing to say
I
we
feel
can't.
like the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. No,
Is-
go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing to stop us combining the two. Like, there's nothing stopping us
Yeah,
taking elements of So, for example, like in an RPG, you often have like dungeons and stuff. But what if you had those dungeons
Yeah.
randomized? So every time you play, like you had a seed, and every time you played through it, it was slightly different.
Yeah, exactly. Like what John just said, just make the story alter differently depending on what. Make it a choice-based game. So make it a good choice-based
Look,
game. Like,
but I mean, an idea I had in my head because I went for like a long walk today, and I was just having ideas in my head. I know walking outdoors. But one of the thoughts I had in my head is, what if every party member apart from you was optional? So like you could beat the whole, like if you did an RPG, what if all the party members were completely optional, and you could
That's
just
pretty cool.
you could just decide not to, but then the outcome of the story is different depending on the characters that you brought along the way.
yeah.
And then John has just
I like
suggested, an idea of randomized open world, which also
Oh,
works.
do you know how difficult it would be to make a full open world game?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Yes, first game ever. Open
First
world.
game, open world. Yeah. 500 side quests.
Yes.
900 hours of gameplay.
Yes.
Incredible replay value. Buy Snake.exe now on Steam. Yeah, open world Snake game. Let's go. All the combat is just that you play Snake.
Oh,
That's
God.
just every combat encounter.
I mean, we're definitely going to want some unique combat system.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
also another thing is one of the biggest roadblocks is neither of us can really draw or compose music, so we're gonna have fun with
I
that.
was going to say biggest hurdle will be like arts.
The artistic
and
part
music.
of it, the
Yeah.
the writing and the
Yeah.
coding we can do. Everything else,
Yeah. Yeah. We may have to get some assistance when it comes
Yeah.
to that.
Fiverr.com.
Whoa. I swear to every single ad I get on YouTube is from Fiverr because I've visited it a few times before. Ugh.
John, we're not playing. We're not making a Snake combat RPG.
That can be your next. That
That could be your game. Yeah, but we're not doing that. I mean, it sounds funny, but you get bored of the combat so quickly.
It's a funny gimmick.
Unless all of the combat encounters were random mini games.
That could be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Be difficult.
yeah, it'd be annoying to program, but it's a unique
Cool.
combat system. That's for sure.
Yeah, it is very unique.
It is. You're given a random mini game, and then and that's how you do damage, or that can be a character's attack or something. You have to complete, like, you do damage based on how well you do in the mini game or something.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
If Mario Party RPG.
Party RPG, let's go! I wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
I mean, they make all the Mario sports games RPGs now, so let's just make Mario Party an RPG.
Exactly.
Yeah, best game. So, yeah, so of course having mini games as the combat runs the risk of being slow, like
Well,
John said, but
well,
this way
yeah.
you have it as a unique attack, right? That
Mm,
like that requires a lot of mana in quotes, because air quotes, because that might not be what we end up calling it if
well, yeah.
that's what we do, but yeah, it may require that sort of stuff, and then and that depends how far you get in it. It's like you make it slow for yourself,
Mm,
but
well,
so I think we're definitely leaning towards the idea of RPG, just because it'll take forever. We've got time to kill. Why
yeah.
not? So let's get rid of.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, I mean, we should keep Snake.exe as a backup for
Of course. Of course.
$49.99, because I think that's
I
a
feel like that's a reasonable price,
I
really.
think that I think that is a reasonable price for a game you can play free on Google Chrome.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the premium
it's
version.
the premium Snake.exe Like we have Snake.exe $49.99. Then we have Snake.exe Masters Edition for like $69.99. You get 3 more snake skins. We and then there's
Really sounds worth it.
yeah, and then there's just like in-depth snake lore.
It's like the upgraded editions of Microsoft Flight Simulator. They just
Yeah.
add a few more planes for an extra 40 quid. Jesus.
Yeah, yeah. We just show off how rich we are. We can afford to make a 49.90. We should make. That's what we should do. We should make a 49, a mobile app that costs 50 quid. Like
Yeah, because that's
yeah, because
gonna get
people
bought.
will get that. Yeah, Snake
I
Dogs.
don't even know if you can make mobile games that
You
expensive.
probably can't. There's probably a reason why it hasn't. Snake EA version.
Buy 100 feet for £1.
Get score, pay money. Game doesn't pause. Yeah, no. What happens is if you don't then pay money, it slowly eats your memory. How fast can you type in?
RAM use-
Yeah, RAM usage. No, in literal.
RAM usually just slowly increases.
It's like
as it
shit,
gets
shit,
longer.
shit. But that's a mini game. We should make it. How fast can you type in your credit card details?
It also just
Mine's
yeah,
big. Yeah.
just
So-
completely use up your RAM and CPU.
Yeah.
Just completely destroys everything.
and then eventually, when it gets too long for the screen, you die. It just
Yeah.
downloads an amount of viruses equal to your score onto your computer.
If you haven't made any microtransactions.
you haven't made any microtransactions. So you get like a score of 500. That's 500 viruses.
Yay, sending malware your way.
Gaming, we care about your destruction.
Yeah. I like this.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Snake.exe as our okay. Screw the RPG idea. Snake.exe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a reason why it's got .exe because it downloads viruses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Snake.exe is directly connected to the black market.
Yeah. I mean, it just is.
Yeah. Eventually, it doxes you.
Oh, God.
It just tweets out on the official Snake.exe Twitter your exact details.
It just grocery commits every internet crime.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. God, yeah.
Jesus
You
Christ.
see him actually be.
That's
Oh,
what it is here.
yeah, because we got really stuck. I'm really liking the Snake.exe idea. Let me just add on to the Trello. Make Snake.exe.
No.
There we go. Cool. That's now on the Trello. We can remove that later if we need to. Because we, as you know, I should probably remove it now so the government don't trace it back to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, how do I delete things? Shit.
I'll do it.
Easy. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Done.
Done? Oh. Whew. They almost had us there. I could feel them hacking into my computer.
They're breaching the mainframe.
Yeah, they breached the. They're in the chat. Oh.
No.
No. Okay, so RPG. One of the ideas we've got is all. Fucking all party members are optional. Okay, so it's an interesting gimmick, and then we've also got mini game based combat. What?
I am so confused. I
What?
just got pinged on Chatterino, but none of my tabs are red.
But let's open up the Nice Guy Josh live chat, shall we?
What? Why?
I don't know. I had things that I hadn't read. Anyway, so yeah, mini game based combat. Probably a single move. I can't spell probably. Let's go.
Oh yes, Chatterino has a button to VIP people.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, if you click on their name.
Did you really just say mod me to someone?
It worked.
Okay, so we've got all party members are optional. I'll also put dungeons. Did you actually get modded?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay, so we've got dungeons are randomized. So the thing is, we need to think about what the style we kind of want for this as well, because like, of course, we can't make a 3D game easily, especially not with 3D models anyway. But there is a semi 3D like idea we could do, because of course in our heads we probably want to do a top down one, just because that's easier for us, because we don't know how to art. But here's the thing. So this is just an idea which we don't have to use at all, because but the Paper Mario series are very cool. Yeah, it's like sprites in a 3D model world, like what John said. But so because Paper Mario and also a game called Octopath Traveler has this thing where you have 2D sprites but in a 3D world. So it means the actual backgrounds are 3D generated, or are 3D models and stuff. But the actual characters themselves are 2D, which is kind of is a bit easier to deal with, because of course you don't have to animate a fully 3D model of a character. You just have the backgrounds as kind of 3D-ish. And even then you can have the backgrounds as just solid like sprites, but they look more 3D by having other sprites attached to them, etc., etc. If you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because then you can kind of have this 3D world, but still having it fairly easy to make. It's an idea, because it'd still be annoying, but any game is annoying to program. It just depends what's easier than another one. That's an idea for if we wanted to go in that direction. We don't need to worry about that yet, though, because we still need to finalize what the concept is we want. But yeah, so I guess the other thing, one of the things we could do for an RPG plot, which probably not a good idea, because we probably want a more original story, which is remake one of our D&D campaigns as an RPG, because then we kind of have the story written out already. But I think it'd be more interesting if we instead wrote a unique story in a unique world.
Yeah, we should have some sort of original thing.
Yeah, because then we can do the world building and write new characters and stuff. Just because I think that'd be more interesting.
I
Yeah.
agree. We should definitely have more of an original story.
Yeah, original campaign 1 would be interesting, John. But the one problem is everywhere is named after places in England. You've got Sheffield as a place. What was it? Cheshire.
And be careful not to say any more.
Yeah.
Just in case.
They are literally on opposite ends of the country.
Yeah, but a lot of the other locations. Did we have any locations that are
I think they were all big ones.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were actually.
I don't think any of them were actually where we live. But damn, they can narrow it down so we don't live in Chester or Sheffield. Damn.
I don't know that. Maybe we do, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. but
It
yeah,
does sound like it.
it could be an interesting one. Of course, the one thing is the fact that um, then at that point we may as well create a new world, considering there was no world building
Yeah.
in it to begin
Yeah,
with.
it's
So
reverse
yeah,
psychology.
reverse psychology. Don't say reverse psychology because then it's no longer reverse psychology, is it? It's just regular psychology. Never. Okay, just ignore me. Just ignore me. See, this is why this is why me in a just chatting stream is a bad idea. Reverse. Now you're just confusing me, John. Um. So, yeah, we can think about the world later. Again, we can think about cats and stuff later. That can be another stream. Um. But so yeah, we've got randomized dungeons, possibly mini game based combat's probably thing. All members are optional. What other unique things? Because of course there's the battle system that we need to make unique somehow, or we just
Yeah.
steal it from someone.
Well, it's
As in take ideas from other games and kind of mash them together. Because I think
just a big amalgamation.
I think the mini game thing is interesting, but also like John said, it's really slow. With XP, I mean, I don't know how you do an interesting twist on XP. I
Well, I mean, for an example of an interesting twist, it's where
Yeah.
you'd take Undertale, where it's actually execution points,
yeah, but
and if you have any, it means you've killed things.
yeah,
Hello there, Solar Flare.
Hello.
whoa.
How are you
I'm-
doing?
I'm going to play some more hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah. Really energetic chat today, guys. You know, it's like
Well,
I've been asking.
I mean,
Question.
considering I'm streaming,
Oh. Let's have you. What's your excuse, Josh? What's your excuse?
I'm helping Ben with his stream.
He is, though.
Okay, fine. Okay. I'm gonna leave VC now. And, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, have fun.
Shut up.
What? I was being genuine.
Not you. I was talking to Ben.
Yeah.
What
whatever,
did I
get out.
do?
Get out.
Get out. Okay, fine. I'll leave. Thanks for coming to the stream, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Logged on professional.
One idea is that you can only gain XP from completing mini side quests, which are in limited quantity. Yeah, but then the thing is with an RPG, when I play an RPG, I basically don't do any of the side quests. So I think the one issue with that is the fact that you gain XP by doing the side content, which isn't a bad thing, but you gain it exclusively, which means you essentially have to go off and find side quests.
Yeah.
What, like challenges? Yeah. Again, you probably it has a more grindy feel to it, because then you're farming in one place for items. Well, not items, but XP.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Grinding isn't always a thing.
yeah, I mean you do it in every RPG anyway. So you end up grinding at some point, especially if you haven't done the side quest like me.
Yeah.
But then that's where
Yeah.
that's where you need to have a fun and interesting combat system.
Exactly.
'Cause-
I mean, to be fair, any combat system will get boring after so much repetitive.
Yeah, and every combat system does. But yeah, and of course you don't want to make it, because another thing back with my kind of I hit my mic.
Nice.
Going back to kind of the Paper Mario games earlier, is the most recent ones don't actually have XP in them, which means there's actually no reason for you to fight things. So that's something we also want to avoid. So we want to make
Well, I
fights
mean-
actually worth it.
It doesn't always have to be like XP. You can do things just like cool loot or things, just other rewards for fighting things other than just
Yeah.
you get XP and then you are stronger.
John brings up a good point about overgrinding for levels, because of course an issue with doing like every possible side quest you can at a certain time is you then ridiculously over leveled.
Well, then you
But
either add a cap
a
or make it an incredibly difficult game. So
a, a
even if you do
but
that,
a
you'll still.
concept that I saw in Xenoblade 2, which is really it's a neat concept, which is you get some XP, but you also get what's called bonus XP, which is the majority, or I think that might just be what the XP is you get from side quests. I can't remember the way around. But essentially,
Hmm.
you can only cash that in to level up when you go to inns. So like when
Hmm.
you rest, you have the option to use the XP you've gained from side quests. So for people who want to be really over leveled, they can be. But for people who don't want to be really over leveled, they don't have to.
I
But
quite like that.
because I think it appeals to both sides because the people who are struggling might want to be really high level, and the people who want the challenge may want to be lower level.
Yeah, yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah, it's because it's just neat. I mean, again,
Yeah.
bit annoying to implement, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Hmm. You can
But
do that.
yeah, so I guess so we're basically set on RPG is probably the best thing for us to do because it'll take ages. We can write a story for it, world building. Um, it'll be fun once we eventually get it done. So
Yeah.
I think we've kind of got to think about what we're gonna do to make the battle system unique in a way. I guess then. Um, and of course, as I said before, we've still got Snake.exe just in case we need something to fall back on.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. But
Good thing to fall back on.
yeah, because I think these days it's hard to come up with a combat system that hasn't been done already.
Yeah, it can be very difficult.
And then with RPGs, you also do like thousands of damage per hit,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
annoying.
hang on.
Ooh.
I've got to disappear for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'll just talk to John in chat. So, wouldn't you agree that it's kind of annoying, John, that in most RPGs you do like thousands of points of damage, and then like it's just hard to keep track. That's a good question, because I think turn based is the better way to go. I prefer. It's hard because on the one hand I like the real time combat of Xenoblade, but I also like the turn based combat of Paper Mario and other RPGs like it. Um, I do like the time limit on turns idea, where you've got a certain amount of time to get to your to pick what action you're gonna do and then perform it. Because I think that brings a sort of sense of urgency to it. Um, 'Cause I think that's a lot. I think that's quite cool. Yeah, I it's yeah. Real time is more skill and turn based is more strategy. And also, I think the one thing is real time. The battle systems tend to be a lot more complicated because there's a lot of things you need to keep in mind. Yeah, I do like the idea of a time. I'm gonna actually put this time limit on turns. I do like the idea of time limit on turns because it means that combat doesn't necessarily feel slow because the advantage of having real time is of course the fact that you run about, you encounter the enemies, and then you fight them immediately, like right where they stand. You don't go into a screen. But I think with the limited uh, time on turns, it means that it gives a sense of urgency to it, which means that when you get into combat, it's not you just kind of sit there and plan exactly what you do. It's you will make mistakes and you'll probably rush. And then also with that, you can have it so that some like bosses attacks reduce the amount of time you've got for your turn and stuff. Uh, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So for yeah, having a whole pre-move function. Although to be honest,
Hello, I'm
the
back.
hello. So yeah, so John brought up the question of whether we wanted to be real time or turn based, and then he also gave the suggestion of having it kind of a mix of the two in a way
Hmm.
where you kind of have turn based, but you have a time limit on your turn. So you can't sit there for the whole thing for like 5 minutes planning out exactly what you want to do. You have to decide what you want to do very quickly. Which
I quite like that.
yeah, I think it's quite a cool concept because it means
Yeah, I like that.
because you have to actually think on your toes. Even just regular combat, it
Yeah.
makes you think. And then something I said is that you could have some bosses maybe have an attack that lowers the amount of time you have to make your turn, which
Yeah, that'd be very cool.
which makes it even more panicky. And then you make mistakes. So then John has just brought up the idea of oh, I need to read that segment, but you can maybe pre-move to certain degrees, and then but your first attack, but your
Like
attack
chess.
like chess, but your attack may not have gone to
Yeah.
plan. For example, the opposing creature could have like done some sort of shield move, and like you do significantly less, or they change like a weakness they have. Because if they have if for example you have elemental weaknesses in it, and they are able to change their weakness, then your attack may not be as strong, which
Yeah.
I think is cool.
I think that's a pretty cool concept. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a soft one. So I definitely don't want it. I don't think we want it to be. Once you run out of time, that's your turn over. I think you still you can do like a base attack or something,
Yeah.
or what if you don't manage to finish your turn in time, it picks a random thing to do. So you so it picks what it did last turn or whatever. Because and if it picks what it did last time, that's fairly easy, I think, with coding words, because you just store the result of what the player selected,
Yeah.
and then you just play it again. Yeah, I think because I think the whole thing of having like almost like opportunities to attack something is quite cool, because one of the combat systems I really like, which is more is kind of a mix of the is sort of not really, is Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. It's a mouthful, but the combat with that, it throws you into this kind of arena when you touch an enemy, like turn based. So and you still have to select like actions you want to do. But essentially, what it does is it's still also real time, and like you attack the creatures real time and all that sort of stuff. And for example, when you do something, it may give you a chance to do extra damage, which is neat. I haven't really played. Yeah, I haven't played a single Final Fantasy game.
Oh. Yeah. Same.
Yeah. More micromanagement you have to do to keep everyone on optimal attacking time. Yeah. So if we made it so if we have the idea of all party members being optional, you could so obviously you wouldn't have every single party member out at once, because that would be ridiculous and you'd shred through bosses. So because if we had it capped to like the normal either 3 or 4 party members active at a time, it's either or really. Okay. But and then like you said, the more people you have, the more you've got to manage. You'll have slightly more time to compensate for the fact, or even then we could just have it as the same amount of time. So the less party members you have, it's harder because you're not doing as much damage, but you also get to plan your strategies more.
Yeah.
Which could be interesting. So like, if we say, for example, we give you a minute to do your turn, maybe slightly more, but if we give you a minute for you to actually complete your turn and put in all the actions that you want to do, you could have it so that if there's one person, you have a minute to plan your whole strategy and what you're going to do that turn. You can go through all your options. Whereas with 4 people, you've got to divide that minute up between 4 party members. But or we can increase it slightly so it's ever so slightly easier, but it doesn't make that big of a difference.
Yeah.
I do like this time limit concept though for battles. I think it's
Yeah. It's pretty.
Wait, let me.
I like it.
Oh, Josh is back. Whoa.
Yeah.
Lower
Stupid
party
Well, is
says
he?
reasons, like
excuse.
stupid reasons I can't
Yeah,
change.
yeah. It's,
Wait, is it what?
They just made me do something. Wait, what's this?
and like you could, and John, you could possibly have like character has an ability where um they do more damage if they are the only person out or something. Or you can have items that do that. So even throughout the game, you may decide to switch around your party composition to have only one person or two people, or maybe there are people that work well in combination with each other, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And since all the party members are optional, it means that you can really pick and choose almost the sort of the the party members you bring along the way, and you can then therefore construct certain strategies when you go into boss fights.
Yeah.
Yeah, lone wolf idea I think is pretty neat. Where they just stand there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I quite
Yeah, I
like
agree
this
with that
idea for a
completely.
combat system. Because I mean, realistically, it's probably been done somewhere. Let's be honest. Like,
It probably has.
it probably has
somewhere. But
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as I said, there will almost certainly be some bosses where you want a full team to do more
Hmm.
damage because maybe they're really tanky or they do a lot of
Yeah.
damage and you need some different people to tank hits and stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, well, I don't think it's necessarily who do you attack. I think it's more you have, like, a character may have spells or a character may have techniques or something. Because something we could do is give every character a sort of form of MP, like whether that be actual MP or like if it's some sort of rogue, they have SP sneak points or something. I don't know. Um, but you have
I
that
want
sort of
those
stuff.
SP.
I want that SP. But something I do see in some RPGs is
Mm.
yeah, it probably is a bit too low. Well, but it was just an idea. We can experiment with timings and stuff. You probably want realistically more like 2 minutes. But like something I do sometimes see is very with combat systems, they tend to have MP is kind of magic, and then if you have like sword techniques and stuff, you tend to actually use your HP to
Yeah.
use them, which is interesting because then it adds in the managing of your health as well as your mana if you have any. But uh, another concept to play with is again looking at the Paper Mario combat system is the fact that all of your characters, like you have two out at a time, but they all share the same kind of mana pool, as in they share the
Mm.
same amount of points, like because in that game
Yeah.
they have FP, and you start off with like 5, and then as you level up, you can pick to level that up instead of HP or badge points. But I'm not going to get into that. But essentially, um, all of your special attacks use those with all of the characters with you, which means that you have to decide, should I do this with this character so I could do this with this character, or
Mm.
but
What strategy to
or
it?
if I do this I can't do this with this person, and so on and so on. It makes you manage things, which I think is an
Yeah.
interesting idea. And I think it's quite fun. But again, with the kind of trying to have fast paced sort of thing, you may not be able to think about that sort of stuff, so it may not be as good of an idea for this. Yeah, but
Yeah, no, I really like that.
yeah. So I'll put in sharing mana in combat. So yeah, it's
I'm gonna run and grab a drink.
all right. Yeah, but yeah. The HP and mana being the same resources is a cool concept. I do like it. It's just sometimes it can be a bit annoying. Because you've got multiple things you've got to manage, and it's just why do I have to manage all of these? should probably be kept low. That way you can menu very quickly. Yeah, or you can have it so that you equip certain spells. Like, again, I'm making a lot of references to Paper Mario because I love the combat system of Thousand Year Door. What if you had it so you equip certain spells, or like in D&D with like wizards, clerics, and druids, where they prepare, and paladins, where they prepare spells. What if you pick spells to prepare when you go into a combat, when you go into a fight, so then you can have that sort of stuff. Because you still want you still want the spells in there, and you still want the main attacks and stuff, but yeah, I think it's spell counts should be kept relatively low. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. Um, you can have that sort of stuff, or um, because of course, menuing will inevitably have to be a thing where like you pick attack like just normal attack um or a spell or something. You'll inevitably have to do a bit of menuing, but I think we should also, yeah. So main menu, normal attack, spell, two fancy things or something. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, I very much agree. I think that's a really good idea if we have it as four like four menu options that you can just get with a button press, and then you can pick one of, there's like four options there that you can then pick. Um, I guess unless you had then, like, if you had this is getting really weird, like a bit crazy. If you had the spells menu then split into almost like four categories with four different spells in each. Sort of speed benefit to give a second benefit on top of perfect time. Yeah, I see. But as I said, something else you could do is you could have, like, when you open the menu, you could, or when you open the spell menu, there could then be almost like four spell folders of like different elements or different types. So you may have healing spells, you may have fire spells, you may have lightning spells, water spells, that sort of stuff. And then in there you can have four spells, so you can still have a decent amount. It's like every 10, but while pre-move that time passes 1.5. Yeah, I see what you mean. Or yeah, I think I see what you're going on about there. So speed. Yeah, I see what you're doing. So pre-moving, so that I think, yeah, this will be very interesting combat to see. Uh, yeah, so you can essentially do attacks twice as quick, or not twice as quick. Like with that many spells, there's no need to specialize. Whatsoever. Yeah, I see what you mean there. All right. Um. Mm, yeah, having to. Huh. Even then, you gotta. Yeah. Okay. Um. Actually, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's fine. Because then, if you have the other menus can be like items and another cool thing or whatever. I guess the one issue is if you want to use. I guess the one issue with this whole idea is if you want to use items. Huh. Because we can't limit you to having only four types of item in your inventory, because we'd have to be insane to do that. So that's annoying. Hmm.
Hello.
Hello. So
Back. How's it going?
good. So we were just discussing the fact that what you could do is have it so it's really easy to menu. So you have like four menu options that can each be accessed by a push of a single button, and then, for example, if you go into spells, you have to pick four spells that you have ready, at
Mm-hmm.
um, at a specific time. And yeah, and John's just suggesting mana pools for per separate mana pools per spell, so you can only use them a limited amount of time. The one issue I just thought of with this time limit idea, and also because of course the whole like only having 4 things per like menu thing is good, except when it comes to using items, because we can't limit a player to only having 4 different items in their inventory, because
Yeah, no, that's pretty bad.
that's so unless you have it so the timer pauses as you go through your items, but I think that goes off the concept a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think because if you think about it, if you look at RPGs, there are so many items. There are items that do debuffs. There are items that give you buffs. There are items that heal you. There are items that give you more mana and all that sort of stuff. And realistically, making someone prepare for 4 types of them is fine, I suppose. But I think I'd rather make them. I think I'd rather let them have access to all of their items rather than.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be better. Yeah.
So, unless we make them get good at menuing, that'd be funny. Because, but yeah. Yeah, I get it would make it unique, but it's whether it make it
Difference between
enjoyable. Yeah.
unique and fun. You gotta.
Yeah.
You don't want to just make things different for the sake.
Yeah, for the sake of having it different.
Because
Oh, you're lagging a bit on my end. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Cutting out a bit. I think it should be all right though. But I think it was just for that bit. But yeah.
Discord is completely frozen.
Oh, I can hear you. It's fine.
I actually cannot do a single thing on Discord.
Great. Well, you don't need Discord. It's fine.
It's
My bitrate's dying.
it's gone.
Oh, I still find it funny that I've dropped 4.8% of frames, 6.5% of frames.
Oh god. Oh Jesus, it went out that quick.
Yeah, 5.1%, but it's fine because it's literally just a Google Doc. But yeah, I think the 4 spells is fine because that makes you think about the attacks that you want to prepare. But I think I think that making them. So we can work on this time limit idea. I do really like the time limit idea. It just depends whether we can get it to work with all aspects, and if we do decide to go with it, time for both you and the enemy is probably yeah. Even then, the enemy probably wouldn't have a timer because the enemy would just pick something. Yeah, we need to think about. I think having this core concept of kind of time limit on turns is good enough. I think having that's perfectly fine, and then we can build on it and work on it as we go along, figure out the sort of kings. To be honest, with the time limit on turns, we probably want to create a test combat of it before we get into making the game too much, and then we probably want to get people to test it to see how they think of it, what they think of it, and if it works, then we can have it properly. But I think otherwise we so yeah, I think we need to do that before realistically we probably need to do that before we build the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think having combat down first would be a very good idea.
Yeah. It takes every X. Oh, I see what you mean. So so after the time. Oh, that's actually alright, to be honest. So if we have it off, once the timer ends, then the enemy attack. We can have it as once the timer ends, then it's the enemy's turn and they attack.
Yeah,
So what if we had it? You can essentially have as many turns as you want as while the time is ticking down. Then when the time is ticked down, it attacks. And then you can have it so different enemies have different timers. So if you end up fighting two different types of enemies. They can both have different timers, which means you have to think about how long you've got on each one.
Yeah.
That could
Yeah,
be okay. So time. I'll put time limit on monster attacks. So for example, if you have if you're fighting slimes and some slimes and goblins, it's just a random combination came up in my head. They both may have a timer above them that may be at different times, with different amounts on. And then when that timer's run out, they will attack one of the party members. And if there's only one, they will just attack the single party member. So then it means that you can, because on the one hand, and then with the party members being optional, you've got if you decide to go on your own, you can get more attacks in probably, but you will also take all the damage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whereas if you have multiple, a tank may take the damage, but you may not get as many attacks in because you've got more menus to go through. Each member of combat heroes and monsters alike has a timer. Once the timer ends, they attack. Yeah. Okay. So John, are you saying that the heroes also have their own timers? And then, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean now. So another thing I just want to say with time limit only on monsters, but we can see if it works on both of them. But if you only have it on monsters as well, you can have it so certain things may be on cooldown for a small duration of time, so you can't just spam the same thing over and over again. So, for example, your basic attack may be on cooldown for 3 seconds, and so you have to do something else.
Yeah.
That could be. And they attack as soon as it runs out if you pre-move, or as soon as you choose. Yeah. Yeah, button mashing game doesn't sound. Yeah, probably best not to make a button mashing game.
Yeah, no, there's got to be some sort of strategy, yeah.
Yeah, you can't just go, yeah. Because as much as I want to just go, yeah, because it'd be funny.
Yeah, there's no fun to button mashing games, really.
No.
There's gonna be at least some semblance of a strategy to it.
So.
I've got to go for another few minutes again.
Alright. So yeah, I think we've got ideas for combat systems. I think what we do is we come up with a list of them, and then we experiment to see which ones work. Because I think this is really cool, but we may also find a different combat system which we enjoy more. So I think we leave this system for the time being, and then we can come back to it and develop it later if we need to. So now we need to think of a different one. Let's see if we can think of a different combat system. Because we don't want to focus all our ideas into one thing that we may not end up using, and that we may create, then realize we don't really think is that good, and then end up having to make another one that we don't have any ideas of what we want it to be. Well, because Super Hot is type only moves when you move. I don't think that works in an RPG setting. Because I just feel like if enemies only attack when you attack, it's just kind of weird, because then you're always trading hits. another idea I had was, so everyone's kind of positioned it. So, John, have you've seen Paper Mario Combat, right? Yeah. So you know how everyone's positioned in a line, like kind of in a, like, as in the by Paper Mario Combat I mean the first two games where it's almost like a stage, and they're kind of positioned in a line where they've got one behind each other. Yes, yes, not origami. No, but they're kind of positioned in a line. What if you had to think about what attacks you use depending on where your character was positioned in said line? So it's a weird idea. So for example, what if all AOE attacks were like a straight line or something that hit everything in front of you, including allies? It's it's not got much depth to it, but it's an idea. Oh yeah, something like that has almost certainly been done before. I I I I'm almost, it probably has, but just did I make any other notes? I think that's the only note I made. Right. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It does. It only attacks the thing in front. I think you can actually go to things behind. You can go to things behind if they're flying, but I think it does always attack the thing in front. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I think if we were gonna do something that wasn't the timer thing, I think it probably have to be turn based. Something I was thinking could be amusing is the fact that luck is easily the worst stat in every RPG because it essentially contributes nothing. But what if we made it so that luck was the best stat in this? Just because it'd be just like you only hit things because you're lucky or something. I don't know. It's stupid, but I just think it'd be amusing. Oh god, that's chaos. Ooh, ew. I. It's interesting. I think that's an interesting one. I think that'll be complete chaos though. Is my one worry. Um, PDS don't have refute as well. So it's almost like you're creating a loop of stuff you do. so, and I guess something you could do is like you put in an action, then you do that action, then you put in another action, then you do your first action, then the second one, then the first, and the second. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. So it's like if you had an infinite. It's like if you had a wild true loop on it. I think.
I've returned again.
Welcome back. We're currently discussing other potential battle systems, so that we don't just we're not just stuck with this one. And then if we realize
Yeah.
we don't like it, then we're sitting there just thinking, well, another stream of brainstorming. Yeah. There's something Jonathan suggested, which I think is interesting. I'm not sure how we'd get it to work, like in a kind of intuitive way. Is essentially what you do is you select an action, and then you do that action again next turn, and then during your next turn you select another action to put on the end of it, and then you keep doing that, but you keep looping the same list of actions each time.
How would
It's
that work?
so
I'm quite confused.
yeah, I could see it kind of working, but I also think it'd be utter chaos.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the alternative is we just go with basic RPG combat, generic. Yes.
What do you mean by that?
Which is essentially the sort of thing that you see in, like, because we'll do turn based because we're not going to do real time.
Turn-based.
Let's be honest. But turn based is very much like, I mean, in a lot of turn based games, it's based on their speed stat who goes first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll put that on the list. I'll put list combat on here. But essentially, like the normal thing is you have MP, you have HP, you hit thing, they hit you back. You hit thing again, they hit you back. But I guess a way that, again, I'm referring to Paper Mario a lot because I like that combat system.
That's fair.
The list combat is the idea you gave, John. It's fine. I'll know what it means. But in the Paper Mario combat, essentially what they do is to do extra damage, you perform action commands, which is like you press A at a specific time, and weirdly, or like you flick the control stick at a specific time. It's base RPG. Oh yeah, I like that as well. But essentially, you do these action commands depending on how well you do them. You do more damage. But yeah, so I've got a few combat ideas. Yeah, it is. Having to time like button presses it makes the combat more engaging, despite the fact it's still only turn-based combat.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. it's just like the smallest thing makes you more engaged. And you also do the same thing where you press a button to reduce damage that you take as well if you get the timing correct. And in some situations, you just take no damage if you get the timing correct. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it means there's still a small bit of luck.
Yeah.
But like we still want a small bit of luck, like crits and stuff.
Yeah, Chris, but you really don't want it to be entirely luck based because there's no.
Because if you have it entirely luck based, then it's just why.
It's just it can just be painful.
Yeah, and also in what pattern the attacks come up in. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we've got some combat ideas. I think enemies critting, but I think enemies critting makes it fun. I think
I feel like if one thing should be able to do it, everything should.
Because I like the idea of someone sitting there thinking, okay, if they hit me with that attack, I am completely fine as long as they don't crit.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the player and the enemy always having a chance of critting would be
Yeah, and then
pretty good.
yeah, then depending on what stat you, if you just increase the crit stat, which could be I don't know luck or something,
Mm.
then you have a higher crit chance, and then there may be items that increase your crit chance. Then you get like 96% crit chance or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that.
You can get ridiculously high crit chance and just do so much fucking damage.
I feel like we shouldn't let it get too high.
No, well, what do you mean? I want to have a character that's 96% crit chance and does like extra things on crits.
Yeah, maybe not have it go above like 50 or something, because I feel like a 90% crit chance is ridiculously high.
Yeah, probably not go above 50, but I just think it's an amusing idea. It's just an amusing thing. Okay.
It's amusing, but perhaps not the best of
Yeah,
ideas.
but perhaps an awful idea.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we've got kind of some basic concepts, and yeah, so we're slowly pulling things together. So I guess something we probably should think about a bit now, so we have an idea in our head, is a probably a rough sort of idea of the plot.
Oh god, we have to brainstorm some shit here.
Yeah, we should because we don't necessarily need to come up with the world or anything today.
Oh no,
But
that would, yeah, no.
I think having a rough idea of the stages of the plot is a good thing.
Oh Jesus Christ! It's dropped glass. Okay, it's fine.
This is why I drink primarily from plastic glasses, because if I drop them, the worst that's going to happen is they're going to spill water everywhere.
But it was empty. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, at least the villain scheme. We don't need to plan characters. We don't need to plan character arcs yet. We don't need to do any of that. We just probably want an idea of villain, why why people stop villain. I mean, I would say we should probably have a twist villain would be interesting, but
Twist villains are always fun.
then again, sometimes you can see the twist coming from a mile away, and since we're
Yeah.
and yeah, so because the key with the twist villain is making the villain obvious, supposed to not look like a villain and then end up being a villain. Or in some cases, you could make them seem completely like a villain, and then they are and then you think to yourself, oh, what if they were the villain? They act so villainous, and then it turns out they are the villain, and you just look at it and you go, oh, what?
So
Yeah, not a Disney twist villain. Jesus Christ.
so I guess the first question then is, do we want it to be a villain that's out in the open from the start, or you start not really knowing who the villain is, just the acts?
I
whatever,
think it's more
know
in.
that things have been happening, and
I-
you need to figure out who it is.
I think it's more interesting if you have to figure out who it is, rather than being shown immediately, because then it builds a bit of suspense in a way. It's like, who is the person who's doing all this? So, for example, it could be as simple as bandits raided my town. I must go fight bandits. What? Of course we.
Yeah.
And then bandits work for Bigger Guild. Bigger Guild is run by evil man who wants to destroy world. Or or something. You get what I mean?
Very open
Like
topic,
that.
yes.
That is incredibly bare bones and not that good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh yeah, there should be some sort of clear villain in the opening. But for some reason, I quite like it when there's a clear villain, and then you beat that villain, and then the true villain shows themselves.
But yeah, it could be something interesting. Like, you spend a lot of the game going after this one evil character, and then you get to the fights or whatever, and it's
Really
surprisingly
easy.
Yeah, it's surprisingly easy, and then the curtain reveals, and it's like, oh, nope, wrong person,
Yeah.
or right person, but there's something bigger.
Yeah.
So
And then the actual villain comes in. It's like, haha, I see you've destroyed my puppet. And then it's just like, ah.
yeah. Something like
No. And then this guy's obviously like 10 times stronger, and it's like, bruh.
that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, it needs to be hinted at and foreshadowed. For example, cutscene, you show back of person's head. Ooh.
Ooh.
That there is a bigger power at play. Yeah, you need to show there's some sort of bigger power at play.
Yeah.
But you don't openly say it. Like,
Yeah, like with foreshadowing, you've got to be very careful because you can't make it too obvious because then it just ruins everything straight away. But it's got to be
yeah.
somewhat. Maybe it could be a thing of like it's very, very subtle, and you only really fully notice.
Yeah,
all the
essentially, we need to be good
foreshadowing.
writers, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm an okay writer.
You're better than
know
I am.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, am I wrong though? That's the thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think with the foreshadowing, it would be a good thing that you don't notice when the big reveal happens. You don't notice all of the foreshadowing immediately. Maybe like.
Oh
you
yeah, I
fully
always like
understand
it when that
everything. Like,
happens.
if you like, for instance, if you play the game through a second time, you notice how much foreshadowing was there, but just so
Yeah,
very,
and
very.
and or just and if you
concealed,
play
like.
through it again, you realise how obvious it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If we put our heads together. Yeah, okay, fine.
We should be able to. Yeah, we should be able to figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Yeah, but like bare idea for story. Big bad evil guy wants to take over world because he was mistreated or something.
I feel like giving the villain some sort of really good motivation is always
Yeah.
cool, other than just
So
bad thing happened in past and now
So,
anger.
something else I do like is when the villain is relatable. Like when
Yeah.
they do something because of a reason, and you just sit there, that morally questioning everything you've done. And it's just
Exactly. It's a lot better if the the villain's plans and the villain's ideals, whatever, are very, very understandable and perhaps to the point where I'm gonna just get it to a thing where you question whether or not they're actually evil or
yeah, and
whether
then
what they're doing is justified.
and then that's something you can have as like a character arc where the characters realize that as they have a moral dilemma of, is what they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Because this person, this evil guy, as we'll dub him, we'll call him Mr. Evil.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're evil.
Senor Evil from Evil Lane.
Yeah.
He's. You look at it, and then they figure out why he does everything, and it's just like, shit. But yeah, I just think
Yeah, no, I like that.
there are parts in storytelling that you can, that when they come up, if they are done badly, it's interesting. But if it's done
Yeah.
well, you look at it and go, that's a really good story. And to be honest, that's, of course, we need a functioning game and we need a good battle system. But I think we should try and focus a lot on the story as well.
Story is
Because-
very, very important. That's what a lot
Yeah.
of people think about the most about like big games. The story is very important.
And it's also where some games fall flat, is the fact they've got this really unique combat system or something like that, and then
You
the
can-
story is really lackluster, and someone just looks at it and goes, huh, I have no motivation to
Yeah.
play this other than it looks cool.
Exactly, like because you can have a really cool combat system, and that's cool and fun for a little bit, but after a point, there's nothing keeping you going because you've used the combat system and it's just not interesting anymore.
Yeah. Oh, and also, John, I agree with what you said, that it's good to make them that you can sympathise with them, but not so much that the characters don't want to fight him. Like, I can imagine kind of the character.
It's just
I
a
meant-
point where you
yeah.
question it.
You question it, but then the characters eventually come to the conclusion that he's killed a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's well, yeah. I see where he's coming from, but yeah, no.
Yeah.
Very bad.
It's just I can see why he does it. Do I agree? No. I can see his goals, and his goals don't seem that awful. Do I approve of the way he achieves those goals? No. Like, you can have, like, the main character and the villain have the exact same goals, and that can be a realization the main character has, that their
No, it's
goals
just the way
their
they
goals
go
are the same.
about
It's
them.
just the way that they go about them makes them good and evil.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's very good.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, again, another thing is just like, humanity has wronged me, and then the main character's like, humanity's wronged me as well, and villain's just like, so I will destroy all of humanity. Protagonist's like, so I will protect humanity and help them become better people. It's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, then we could also just flip it on its head, and what if we had the main character be the villain?
Ooh.
What, as in,
That
like,
could be
what
pretty
if you
cool.
play
It's
from the
hard to
villain?
do.
I mean, also, what if you play from the villain's perspective the whole time?
Yeah, it's just but it's just the way, because you always see it from the villain's perspective. You always think what you're doing is right.
Yeah,
You don't really realize right before.
yeah,
That could be, or it could just be a thing of it's never really clear who's the good
yeah,
person, who's the bad person.
yeah,
Everyone's just very morally grey.
yeah. Right, I need to go eat. So
Okay.
if you can continue discussing with John about stuff, and then I will be back once I've eaten.
Okie dokie. Imagine eating during your stream, SMH. Oh, John has said something in chat. I'm not paying attention. More Grace is good too. If the player and the villain perhaps start off in the same place, it means the best interactions they could end up. Yeah, that could be pretty good. Where it just depends how the player plays. Like how the player plays is what determines who ends up as the villain. Really, that'd be pretty cool. I like that.
I have returned. Whoa, you're muted. Epic.
Ah, hello. Yes, I'm here.
So did you come up with anything else, or?
We had one thing, and then he went to eat.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Morally greyness is
It
good
was
too.
The idea of
Yeah,
that.
moral greyness. Yeah.
So, like, depending on how the player plays the game, that will decide who actually ends up being the villain.
Yeah. So kind of like an Undertale sort of standpoint on that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So.
Because, like, both the characters who could be the villain, being like the player and the other guy, they both start out, but either of them could end up being the villain. Like, depending on how it plays it, one of them will end up being the hero, the protagonist, I guess,
Yeah.
and then one of them is the villain.
That is interesting. So it's got kind of like this whole morality thing of do you so you can kill someone and spare them. But then that's definitely Undertale. Ooh.
Yeah, no, not exactly. Like
Yeah, no,
Undertale,
I see what
but-
you mean. I see what you mean. No. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I think that is interesting. You could literally have it as two characters from the same kind of almost village in a way. They go off on an adventure, and then one becomes evil and the other
Yeah.
becomes good. And then the player can be the evil or the good character depending on how they play, which gives it replay value.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
That's a very important thing in game. You need replay value.
Yeah. Because if you play a game once, which I barely even get through a whole game, but if you play a game once, it's just great. What do I do now?
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So, next, we've got a basic idea, I guess. We want a fairly... So, let me just make a note of villain man. So, villain... wait, so let's put concept depending on how you play. Ooh. Okay. So now something I want to come on to, which is what kind of other gameplay elements are we gonna have? So,
I just opened OBS.
oh. So when I say gameplay elements, I mean, are we going to have like characters with? We're gonna have each character have skill trees that you can fill out as you go along. Are we gonna have puzzle solving?
I mean, there's got to be something.
So
Yeah.
I'll put side quests because you can't have an RPG without
Very,
side
very
quests.
general. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't have RPGs without side quests. Oh, eventually we'll make a whole Google Docs outlining every single side quest.
Yeah.
God, I just realised the thing is when it comes to writing this, not only are we gonna have to write the script for the game, like the actual game script, we're gonna have to write the story, then convert all of that into character speech.
Yep.
And so not only are we gonna have to write it, we're gonna have to convey it through the characters speaking.
That's fine. Do that.
On the one hand, it also means we don't have to describe things like you do in D&D. You can just show them.
Exactly. Show not tell.
Exactly. So we don't have to go. We don't have to describe a city. It's just here is city.
Yeah.
Big city. Big. So yeah, because I always quite like skill trees in things, but I guess not really so much as a skill tree with this, more as the kind of upgrade things, sort
Yeah.
of like small perks that you can get up to as you gain like special points, like power points or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. Some sort of progression system.
Yeah, something that makes you stronger that isn't just leveling up.
Yeah. So there's a lot more like very customizable.
Yeah. So like whether each character, for example, can have, because another thing I've seen in previous games is like in, again, going back to Xenoblade, this time Xenoblade 1, what they actually have is each character has 3 skill trees that you can focus on and that you level up over time. Like, you don't have to go into it and add anything, but you slowly over time they begin to level up and you get skills. And then you can share them between party members, but that's, we don't necessarily need that. But, and then essentially you can level up all 3 of the skill trees, but you can only actually pick one to continue to use. And each one focuses on different things, but not necessarily on like combat things. Well, some of them do, but for example, you do more damage during the day, or your movement speed is greater at
cool.
night, or you.
That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah, I think it's a cool thing because it gives you small buffs, or small just quality of life things, but but you only need to go into the menu to see what the skill is you've, because it'll come up saying you've acquired this skill. It's like, and then you can go into the menu and check what the skill is and check exactly what it does. But apart from that, you don't need to go into there to like think, have I got enough of these special points to get the next skill upgrade. But,
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, because I find myself with those sort of things every single time checking the menu, just like, have I got enough? Have I got
Yeah.
enough? Have I got enough? And also,
Yeah.
otherwise you feel like you're constantly trying to save up for one big thing, where as it's slowly increasing over time, then it could be interesting. Also, welcome back, John. We're currently discussing gameplay elements. We've of course got
John,
side
you're allowed
quests.
to join VC, by the way.
Yeah, you can join VC if you want to. You don't have to communicate to us exclusively through chat. On the one hand, it does make my chat more interesting.
It's a lot easier, though.
Yeah.
If he's just in VC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We would just distract.
But that's not good. That's not gonna work if you're
No,
sitting
no,
on
no,
your
no, no,
sister's
no,
stream
no, no, no.
typing all the time.
Trust me, we need to let him work on SSA, because the quicker he gets SSA done, the quicker he can work for us.
John, leave the stream. Go away. Leave the stream.
Leave the
Ban
stream.
him. Get him out.
Bad. No, get him out of here. No,
Get him out.
he can stay if he wants. He can stay if he wants. Although, make sure we're working on SSA. SSA. Or Skylanders Spyro's Adventures, it's also called. God. Don't you just love the Skylanders games? Anyway, skill trees. Oh, the first one's so good, and the second one's also pretty good, and the third one's better.
Never played any of the.
Have you really not played any of the Skylander games?
I don't play Nintendo games.
Bro, it's not a Nintendo game. It was released on all
Games on Nintendo
consoles. It was released
I
on
don't
all
give a fuck. I didn't play.
consoles.
No, I never. No. Okay, let me think of a game that everyone else that you haven't played, because you exclusively play.
Oh yeah,
games
you
on
can
Nintendo
pick like
console.
literally anything that's only on like Xbox.
Ow,
Also,
my dog's been.
your dog's being annoying, Dave. Also, John, I like the fact you put trying in. What? Why'd you put trying in asterisks? Asterisks. What?
No, bad.
I just realised John put trying in asterisks.
Yeah, because he's not actually working on it.
Oh. Yeah, but you think that'd be air quotes, but oh well. I'm probably just being dumb.
He's just
Okay.
emphasizing.
Yeah. Other gameplay elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just.
Exploration.
Whoa. Yeah, we probably want to have a bit of a world, not like completely open world, but still a bit of a world to explore
Yeah.
with like secrets.
You know,
And stuff.
it doesn't want to be like completely linear. Go here, do this. Go here, do that.
No, it's more
If
like you've got to get here, but you have to go through this large expanse to get there.
Yes, something more like that.
Yeah, rather than go here, follow this one straight road.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for playing game.
Yeah.
Yeah, opening up as you continue through the main plot points.
Yeah.
Other gameplay elements. Combat system. Whoa. I'll include that here. It's obvious, but I'll include that there.
We do need a unique combat system. Not,
Yeah.
Just because you need something interesting.
I'll put in brackets
should be.
I'll put in brackets preferably unique.
Yeah, because it's obviously not main focus, but be very cool.
Can't spell preferably.
Nice.
Hey, set to English.
Hey.
No, Siri, you weren't supposed to pick up set to English. Okay, so we've got combat system, we've got exploration, skill trees, side quests, equipment management. That's a thing.
Equipment management, yeah.
Yeah,
Good feature.
gameplay elements. I love that element in games. Do we want to include a new game plus?
What?
Okay, so new game plus is a thing that's not just in Nintendo games. I know it is in Nintendo games, but it's not just. Essentially, what it gives you the option to do is play through the whole game again, but at the level you were in your save file.
What, like God mode?
Yeah, essentially. So, for example, let's say you finished off your save file at max level. You can restart that save file from the beginning, but with all of your items and all of your levels. It's just you'll gain party members as you would normally find them in the story.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel that'd be just incredibly easy and just be a very much
Yeah.
speed run mode.
But then what you also do is you put unique content.
So it's different each time you go through it.
So as in slightly different, as in like better items. I don't know. It's something that's optional. We probably don't need to.
We could possibly do it.
I'll put new game plus here with a question mark. Yeah, it is. What was I? Fuck. What was I thinking of? I can't think of it. Fucking.
What are you trying to think? What?
There was this one thing I was thinking when I was also talking about new game plus, and it's really post game content. That's it.
Yes.
Like really powerful enemies, time trials of bosses.
Yeah, there's post-game content, and also it needs more to do after you've completed it, and also very good replay value.
Yeah.
Replayability is
Yeah.
very important thing for games, because it doesn't want to be a thing where you play it once and that's it, really.
Yeah. But
You
a lot
just
a
keep
lot of
on.
RPG post game content tends to be making the most broken builds you can,
Yeah.
and then just shredding bosses.
Yeah.
which to be honest, it's quite fun. It's quite fun to see. Just here's my build. Now I destroy.
Yeah. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Just to be completely overpowered in every aspect.
Yeah, I just destroy it. Like, hardest boss in the game. We get time trial final boss. Yeah, that boss that took you like 30 minutes to beat. Yeah, I did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's all thanks to
Yeah, that's pretty
post game. Yeah, being able to go back to these things that you remember giving you. I think that's another appeal of New Game Plus is being able to go back to things that you remember causing you so much trouble and then just destroying them. So, for example, that first boss that kept killing you, yeah, not anymore. Now you kill it in one shot.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, post game content. We can elaborate on what that is later when we get to having a game.
Yeah.
Post game content is not necessarily something you need in the first version of the game. It's something you can add as a patch later.
Mm.
But it's definitely needed. What other things do we need? I get puzzles and dungeons and stuff.
Mhm.
Puzzles. We could provide like because of course you'll have like main dungeons that you have to go into, and then you could also have like mini dungeons that you don't have to, but you can get some pretty cool loot from.
Yeah.
So mini.
A lot of optional stuff.
Yeah, and as I said, like even if we don't have, and then we can implement some aspects of roguelike where even if we don't have the main dungeons as randomized, we can have the interiors of the mini dungeons randomized to give you. So when you go through, you may get similar sort of loot, but you may not get exactly the same, and the path to get to it may not be exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely don't want everything to be all the same
Yeah.
every time.
So then when you come back to playing through it, you at first thought you'll be like, oh, I can go in here and get this item, and then you go in, it's completely different. It's like, is this the wrong dungeon? And then you double check. It's like, oh no, because of course
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
one issue with having puzzles is that when you replay through a game, you know all the puzzles.
Exactly. Yeah. Having some sort of making them different every time.
Yeah. Or have because something you see a lot of games is the combinations are randomized. So like for a safe, for example, it's like you think, oh, I just know the name. You put it in, it says wrong. It's like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, you have to redo stuff every time.
You have to go through the whole like 30-minute trek to get the safe code, and then continue with your adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. I'll put random puzzles / solutions. Okay. And then I'll put in gameplay. Shut up, Siri. No.
Nice.
Let me. I said shut up, Siri, and it immediately said, "What can I do for you?" It's like nothing. I'll put party members are optional in gameplay elements because that's something that could come up. Having a little world map randomization could be really fun if we're willing to go through the effort. That is interesting. That is the idea that John's put in chat is interesting.
What did he say? Really fun for everyone to go through the effort. That.
So
That is difficult to do, but yes.
Yeah,
it's
for
pretty
example,
cool.
Desert Junk, yeah. I think it's cool. So then, even the world's slightly different. Even if the stuff in the one thing is like, it depends because it's perfectly fine if we have them, be able to have multiple objectives and they can go to any one of them in any order. If we don't do it like that and it's a bit more linear, that can be bad because it might mean they have to traverse through somewhere where, like, I don't know, some of the strongest monsters in the game reside.
Yeah, and being able to avoid that, but that could be pretty difficult. So
Yeah. So
that should be possibly.
yeah, it only really works. I'll put it in. I'll put it in. Slightly random world map. Question mark. But yeah, I see because and even then having an RPG with multiple objectives is difficult because of the way you have to scale enemies. But I guess we could do that by if this objective is completed, then enemies are stronger or something like that.
Yeah.
But Yeah, it depends. We could possibly go to work, but we'll have to look into that.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm just trying to think of any other interesting gameplay sort of thing, related things we could have. I mean, we need skip travel. Let's be honest.
Mm.
Like RPGs without skip travel are painful.
Yeah, you definitely need some sort of fast travel system.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just do fast travel actually because I'm fast travel because fast travel. If you have an RPG and it's a big world, it's just
Yeah.
oh no.
Yeah, no. Big worlds with no fast travel is very painful.
Yeah, I have to go back
Especially
to
having to do a lot of traveling.
yeah. I have to go back to original city for this one quest objective, and I had to walk all the way here. It took me 3 hours,
Yeah.
and I've got to walk back. And especially if you've got like backtracking stuff, it's like I have to go here for like a side quest. I go back to that location I was. If you have to walk that whole thing, it would be like 4 hours per side quest, and it's just why.
Yeah.
Some sort of mini map will probably be good, I guess. Actually,
Don't need it.
we probably don't need
Yeah.
it because I'm thinking this in
Yeah.
because if we go with the sort of RPG style that I suggested at the beginning, which is kind of 2D on 3D, sprites are 2D, but it's three
Yeah, I get what
dimensional.
you mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's we don't really need a map because you just see everything.
Yeah.
I guess we okay. We need a map for fast travel, so I'll put includes map with the fast travel section because you kind of need that, but because that'll make it more interesting than it just being a list of places you can fast travel to. It's like
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
yeah. Yeah, maybe dungeon maps. Even then, I don't think we need dungeon maps.
No, but I feel like not having dungeon
I-
maps
Yeah.
could
I've-
work a little bit better because if you've got a map, it's a lot easier to find your way around,
Yeah.
really.
But also, I'm going to refer back to Paper Mario again because yes, that has like the 2D slash 3D mix, and that has small dungeons. Well, I say dungeons, kind of
Yeah.
not really, but and there's not a single actual useful map in that game. There also isn't any skip travel in that game, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But that's fine because that game basically revolves around one town and a few fairly small locations.
Exactly. If it's a small world, you don't really.
You can literally walk between them in like a few minutes.
Yeah. Not as necessary.
Oh yeah, skip. We want fast travel. No, we're not. We're not gonna not have fast travel. But I don't. I'm not sure if we need a map. Making maps optional could be neat, but then again, I think it'll come down to testing it. Like when we eventually
Yeah.
get around to creating the first dungeon or the first town, we can test it. If it is
Exactly,
painful
it's gonna
without,
need a lot of
if it's painful without a map, then yeah, sure, we will add a map because that'd be good. But I probably don't need it. Yeah. Also, an idea I have for testing this is if we get a bunch of people and then give them different segments of the game,
Yeah.
it means that one person doesn't have to play through like a 20-hour long RPG or however long this is
Exactly.
going
You
to
give it to loads of people and give them to different sections,
be. Yeah.
and then
Or
some
we,
people can do the whole thing, but
or we can give
to
them
get to test it.
or we can give them like a side quest to test, or we can give them like
yeah, just,
a-
just procedural
a
testing,
part of the
yeah.
main objective. Because of course, one of the
Just
annoying
as we finish certain aspects, we get people to test
yeah,
it. And
because I think one of the most annoying things about doing it, if we decide to do the 2D slash 3D, is getting the collision to work every single time.
collision isn't too bad.
No, it's just making sure that everything they touch that should stop them does stop them, especially in a 3D scape. Like from a top-down
Yeah,
perspective, it's slightly easier, but
It would. it could be a bit annoying, but Collision isn't
Yeah.
too
We
bad.
we want people to playtest the whole thing, and also we don't necessarily just want people to say, oh yeah, it's really good. We want people to tell us there is stuff wrong with it.
Exactly. We don't care about what's good. We want to know what's
Well,
bad.
I mean, we want to know what we did right, so that we still want to hear that it's decent, but we also want to hear what yeah most I just have good enough clue. But yeah, we want to hear also the negatives of it. Because just be that, and that's why you get other people to play test your game, and you don't play test it yourself. Because
Yeah,
otherwise,
exactly.
you
Because you're
come
gonna
at
be
it in a
like,
very
well,
biased point of view,
exactly. Yeah.
which is I have created this game, therefore it is perfect. It's like no, no, you can't just do that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and John, with later stages, having people play the whole thing, that is something we probably want to
Definitely.
do. It's just getting people to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it's engaging enough, people should be
Oh yeah,
fine with it.
flat plane. We don't want bumpy terrain. Jesus,
Definitely don't know.
I don't want to deal with that collision. Oh God. But yeah, it's just about whether we can get people to test the full game. Which, to be honest, we probably can. In fact, as I said, we can probably test it ourselves. Like with the full game, we can probably test it ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just when it we can get other people to test it if they want to.
We
But
need lots of testing going along as well. So, because there are
yeah,
obviously bugs and shit that a lot of
yeah,
them only come
yeah,
about from very specific
yeah.
circumstances. So more people play it.
We need to test the segments as we go along.
Yeah, for sure.
We can't just go, oh, this bit's fine, and then go, yay, and then the final product, you just fall through the map, and it's completely impossible to beat the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just what's the point? What's it's like, oh great, there's this game, it's broken, yay.
Exactly.
I love broken games. But yeah,
No. Testing is very important.
testing is a very important part, and will take up probably about 50% of our time.
Perhaps
Like
even more. Yeah. Testing is a
fi-
very large part of development.
50% will be making the game. The other 50% will be making sure it doesn't break.
Yeah.
And
The
then
50, the 50% would be make sure we'll be finding the bugs and then actually like fixing them.
actually fixing. Yeah, realistically, it's like 40% making actual game, 50% testing for bugs, 10% fixing bugs. Fixing
Yeah,
bugs that are inevitably gonna be there.
of course.
Because there is no game where there are no bugs whatsoever.
Hmm.
Like
No,
that just isn't a thing. Like well,
No,
as
it's
in
taken
as in first time round anyway.
Yeah,
Like
of course, there'll be a lot of bugs.
yeah, especially since we'll be learning Unity. Yeah, then another
Yeah,
50% of procrastinating. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
and
not
then
wrong.
speaking of that, a lot of it will be learning actually what we're doing.
Unity, yeah, YouTube tutorials. Let's go.
Oh.
The amount of
I
emails
kind
I
of have an
get.
idea what I'm doing. I really haven't done much, but
Oh, neither
I
have
know
I.
where to start.
I barely got it to move. I barely got something. I haven't got something to move by increments. It only just starts moving on its own. I go, no, that's not what I want.
What do you do? What you just play and it moves?
Yeah, no,
You don't take an input.
as in, it's like the snake movement. So I press it and
Oh, it
it
just doesn't
starts moving,
stop.
and I can change directions. It just doesn't stop. And I was like, no.
Oh yeah, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because when you first take an input, it's like, oh yes, move when this, but there's nothing to say stop moving when this is no
Oh
longer.
yeah, yeah.
So it will just keep going until it has the thing.
Yeah, you just look at it and go, no,
Only move
no.
while this input is here. Yeah.
Yeah. As we said with it, a while ago, biggest setback will be music and art.
Yeah, for sure.
We do know someone who can do both of those things, but I don't think we don't want to overwork them with it.
Like John already does. Yeah.
Yeah, like John already does. We're looking. Yeah, we're criticizing you, John. What you can do about it? But yeah, if we can get them to help a bit, then that'd be nice. But
Exactly.
similarly, I can try to learn how to compose music. I can try to learn how to
Yeah.
compose music on, because I've got GarageBand on my phone, so I can.
Whoa.
Whoa! Check
Nice.
me out. Let's
Nice.
go. Let's go. No, but I can. You can do a bit on there, and then you can export it as an MP3 or whatever file we need it as.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, look at me. Yeah. I'm just look at me with my free app.
No, it's very professional.
Check me out. Free app on my phone.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah. We've got basic ideas. We've got a few things that we can begin to flesh out a bit. I think let's check how long I've been going for, shall we? I think for about
Yeah, 2 hours 20.
2 hours 20. I think that's good. I think we've made a decent amount of progress. By that I mean we've got a basic concept. We need to work on the story a bit, but we don't need to stream every aspect of this process. We can work
Well,
on
no.
it off stream. Because let's be honest, if I did a coding stream, that would be the most boring thing of all time. It will literally be me sitting there with Visual Studio, getting out and running it, clicking the buttons, going fuck, and then going back into the code.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen. But yeah, let me just make sure I'll save this one's streams done. But yeah, so thank you all very much for watching. To anyone who is still watching, I'm pretty sure it's only John, but that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, thank you for watching. This has been a very different stream to what I've done all the other times, because it's been gaming, but also not gaming, if you get what I mean. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will keep you updated on anything that we end up doing. But yes, thank you very much.